A very good morning, it's Fabio and welcome back to another daily market outlook. So EURUSD has been pushing slightly in towards the downside after coming back up higher in towards that area of supply. So this is your obvious buy before that massive sell-off in towards the downside. It swiped liquidity above this high, and then after that we saw the change of character in towards the downside, validating this as an area of supply. Now we've seen an initial reaction to this supply zone over here, and if we go in towards the lower time frame, we can validate that area of supply by looking at the change of characters. So what we can very clearly see is that yesterday evening, end of the New York session, we saw a change of character on this high. So we broke this high, and what is then the low that broke this high? That is the low of this bullish candle over here. So at that point in time, we then have a valid change of character happening over here on this buy up before the sell. We come back in towards there, we wick inside, and then from there we start pushing in towards the downside. Now for the day ahead, what I'm looking for is further downside continuation as long as the overall 4-hour continues to respect its overall highs. Yes, we could come back up one more time, but as long as this area of 4-hour supply holds, we should continue pushing down lower. If this high were to break, I would definitely not be interested in shorts anymore, and I would just focus on the overall change of character structure. Let's say we come in towards this higher area of supply and then we see a 4-hour chalk in towards the downside. Yes, you could once again look for a potential shorting opportunity. But if we break this black line over here, it does seem that the market would just continue bullish up higher. But that is something for if we do reach price or do see price reach those levels. Otherwise, for now, it is still looking good for a further sell-off in towards the downside. Okay, so looking here at the 15-minute time frame as well, you can clearly see that the overall structure had a bearish BOS. So here, structure break in towards the highs, then a structure break in towards the downside. This is your swing high, this is your swing low. We come in towards 4-hour and 1-hour supply, and then on the 15-minute time frame as well, we see the change of character happen in towards the downside, and we start pushing down lower. So it still looks good to push down lower. Let's just keep an eye on that and what happens throughout the rest of today, because we also need the dollar to push up higher, right? So the dollar index itself here on the 4-hour time frame, what we can see from yesterday is that we made a pullback indeed after swiping liquidity above the highs. We've then made a pullback in towards this sell before the buy, which caused us to swipe above this high, right? So this is what pushed the market up higher substantially. Now we can very clearly see that we tapped in towards that 4-hour demand zone, and straight away we reverse back out of it once again. For now, I'm just following the order flow here on the dollar index. You can very clearly see that yesterday we reacted to this demand zone over here. Then last night we reacted to this demand zone, and now we are reacting to this demand zone. So let's see if this demand zone can hold the dollar and push it up higher here on the 15-minute time frame. That would be good for further downside on EU and UAU. But for now, I am just keeping my eyes open, looking here at the daily is still bullish as well, as long as this black line is respected. So expecting higher prices from the dollar as long as this black line is respected. This has got my eye for now. If we break this black line, then I would be interested in trading a potential pullback. Okay, so that is what we are looking for, as long as the black line holds, further upside on the dollar. If we break the black line, further downside. Going into AUDUSD, we're seeing AUDUSD still chop further in towards the lows. AUDUSD is fundamentally extremely bearish. The Australian dollar is extremely weak. We have got some news tomorrow coming out in regards to CPI on the Australian dollar. So let's keep an eye on that. Maybe that could start causing some form of a bounce. But for now, as we can all see, it is extremely bearish. No real bullish momentum at all. Also, if we look to the left, nothing really substantial. We are nearing an important swing low, or we have already neared an important liquidity low. As you can see, this low tried to take out this low, failed to do so, and now we could see some form of reaction, but definitely not interested in taking any longs on AUDUSD until we break the black line and break this area of supply. Okay, so if we break that, then maybe I'll be looking for a long. Otherwise, I'm only still interested in looking for further downside from this pair. Yesterday, the market failed to tap in towards my 4-hour supply zone, which I had my eyes on with this liquidity high. yeah, the market failed to push in towards there, so no shorts for me personally. The black zone was the zone that I was looking at for a potential short, but for now, you guys know I'm just sticking mainly to the daily. And yeah, if the daily does make some form of a nice pullback, then maybe some shorts again, but for now, nothing really on my radar. Also, definitely not looking at a long. Only if we see a sizable pullback will I be interested in a shorting opportunity. Going into GBPUSD, what are we seeing over there? So GU has been extremely slow yesterday. It is still stuck now inside this daily supply zone, so this black box over here. As you can see, wicking inside, but it's just really chopping. It's waiting for a lot of dollar news, as we can see down below over here today. We have jolts, job openings and everything going on. So just to show you guys, we have today at 3 p.m. Central Eastern Time. So we have jolts, we have consumer confidence, and then again tomorrow we have also some more red folder news. Then on Thursday as well, red folder news, and then again on Friday as well. So quite the eventful week for the dollar. I do expect it to start moving the market a little bit more. For myself, at the moment, GU is not very interesting. If you remember from yesterday's video, what has now happened is that we've broken the 4-hour fractal high, which is the high of this bearish candle over here. So to me, this is now not an interesting pair at the moment. I would definitely stay out of this because now we're just consolidating inside of this box. So for me, it's not interesting. And what I can also see is that we swipe kind of the lows first of the range and the high of the range is still open, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we swipe above that and then, for example, see a push down again. Going in towards the 1 hour, I know a lot of people were looking for shorts yesterday, but there was just no shorting opportunity. We had an area of supply over here. And that supply zone was interesting to look for a short from, but then if you go into the 15-minute time frame, excuse me, you can very clearly see that the overall order flow just remained bullish, right? So you see the push up, you see the pullback, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, and then towards the end of the day, yes, we did break the lows once again, but you can see we already took out the high. So for some people, might have been valid to then short on, for example, this supply zone over here, but for me, I just prefer to stay out because I just don't really like what has been happening on this pair, especially now with the consolidation that I highlighted here on the 4-hour time frame. Going into NZDUSD, NZDUSD is still extremely bearish. As we can see, it did in fact yesterday do exactly what we wanted. So I hope some of you were able to capitalize on that. This buy before the sell, you can see we wick in and then we push back down again. So some nice price action from NZDUSD. Going into the daily time frame, what we can see over there is that perfectly the overall fractal structure held and pushed the market down lower once again. So we can see the buy up sell, it's being respected. So again, as long as this black line is respected, your fractal high, the market should continue down lower. So still interested in shorts going in towards the 4-hour time frame. Again, also very interesting still for shorts after grabbing liquidity. So I do expect now this low to be targeted next for NZDUSD, unless we see some form of a pullback again and we start to break the highs over here of the 4-hour fractal. And the 4-hour fractal, guys, is just your 4-hour candlestick structure, and that is this zone. So the high of this bearish candle, if that high is broken, then potentially we should start keeping or taking into consideration that we could start seeing a pullback. But for now, this supply zone is holding beautifully, so the market should, or I expect the market to still push down lower on this pair for now. So that is NZDUSD. Going into gold, last of all, gold did exactly what we anticipated. As you can see, the 4-hour demand zone held beautifully. As you guys know, we expected this to be just simply a liquidity grab and this to be a fake area of supply. And as you can see, we start this internal trend back up and we're now pushing up higher. So this demand zone played out beautifully, then go in towards the 15-minute time frame. And on the 15-minute time frame, what you will be able to see is that after tapping in towards that 4-hour demand zone, we then wait for the next leg up in towards this area of 4-hour supply. Now, this area of 4 hours, or excuse me, 15-minute supply is not extremely interesting, but it was a potential target yesterday during the beginning of the New York session to consider. So what you could see yesterday is that we had a very nice change of character down below over here in the middle of your screen. We then start pushing back up. So we break the fractal structure over here and then we start forming 15-minute order flow, pushing the market up higher. And that is then where you want to be looking to go long and capitalize on the 50 minutes in towards the highs. Okay, so that is the kind of trades that you want to be taking in line with the overall order flow. 4-hour demand zone playing out, 1 hour also playing out beautifully, and yeah, pushing the market up higher. So definitely a very interesting setup there on gold longs. So I am expecting now the all-time high to get hit very soon. Looking here at the 4-hour time frame, what I would now be looking at, just cleaning up the chart, is this overall zone over here. Maybe for us today to liquidate our own low, and then I'll be keeping an eye on looking for further upside from gold. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and see you inside Discord. This afternoon we're going live for the New York session here on the channel, so make sure to tune in there as well. Thanks.